Many of my students says that sir have a lecture on the functional group chemistry. So the functional group chemistry, as I told you earlier, is basically the groups attached to an alkyl chain. They can be a monofunctional group or that can be more than one functional group. So functional group are basically defined as the active site in any molecule that react with certain reagent. Basically, any chemical reaction that we see have two starting materials. One is a substrate and another one is a reagent. And the conditions that we provide to that substrate and reagent which make them enable that they can react and form a specific or more than one product or even selectively more predominantly one product over the other. So there are various aspects of this. So the functional groups which are very common in organic chemistry, they are basically the alkane. Alkane is itself a saturated molecule. So saturated means it has the complete hydrogen index, that there is no capacity that it can further absorb more hydrogens in that molecule. So that is why they are called the saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are basically the one functional group that we can say, or we can say in a manner that hydrocarbons are basically the one functional group which are further classified into the two classes, that is the saturated hydrocarbons and the unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are those molecules which have the complete hydrogen CnH2n plus 2 formula that we already know, that this numerical value of Cn2 plus 2, that will CnH2n plus 2, that will help us to determine that that carbon is particularly completely filled with the number of hydrogens. So when one mole of hydrogen is removed, that either a cyclic molecule or that will become a molecule with a double bond. So that can either be a unsaturated alkene or cyclic alkane. So if one mole of hydrogen is less than the CnH2n plus 2, if two moles, then either they will have a more than two double bonds or they can have a triple bond in that. So the unsaturated are further classified into the sub two categories, that is the alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes are basically the molecules in which the double bond is there, that are they are the sp2 hybridized, and alkynes are the molecules, they are basically the sp hybridized and they have the triple bond. So the chemical reactivity of all these saturated and unsaturated molecules is different. So we can say that hydrocarbons have three main functional groups. One are the alkanes, and other one are the alkenes, and other one are the alkynes. So depending upon their reactivity and the reagents to whom they are reacting. The second most functional group which I will take is basically the when one hydrogen atom